Dun da 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 dun dun da da da. I just kind of realized that you can't see the microphones. You kind of can. You can see the like the booms and stuff, but you can't really. If I move it, maybe. Yeah. Just leave it there. It took some time to set up for this. I did a test recording of this setup a couple days ago just to make sure that everything would be okay. And it's okay, but this boom somehow developed rattle. This one doesn't do it. But I was testing, and I noticed when I was vigorous with this side, it would make that noise, and I don't know what's causing it. So I'm gonna try to be delicate to this side. So here we are. I have some questions that I have been asked. I requested my supporters. I said, ask me questions. 5,000 subscribers coming up on the channel. Wait, we're already there. I didn't want to do anything on April Fool's because, like any announcements, you know? And then I'm like, I don't know if I just, I'll get into some of the questions about kind of like stuff. I don't want to pre-ramble too much. This is just a pre-ramble. Yes. So, yeah, we made it to 5,000 subscribers on the YouTube. I might post this to Spotify. I figure why not? It's just kind of a Q&A. What do you think, Garrus? You think it should go up on Spotify? Should it go up on PeerTube? I'm not too sure. These are new Pawbs. These are new. They arrived and I placed them on and here in front of you. I've done a little bit. Oh dear, my nose is itchy, and I have no way to scratch it. I'm using the paw pad to wiggle my nose around to try to get the scratch, and I got it actually. That worked. These pads are so soft. These ones here. Hey, cut. All right, we're back. I noticed that the camera was making autofocus noise. And I know I should turn the autofocus off, but it's really convenient when I'm dialing everything in, and most of the time, it does nothing. Garrus is settling. Good boy. I love him. So, these are my new Pawbs. Aren't they nice? The fur is amazing. I love how it's like it's white, but you can see the orange cut through like that on the that might be just my lights in here, but no, I don't think so. I think it's actually quality of the fur. It's beautiful. And my claws look like I dipped them in chocolate. Same with my Pawbs. My beans. Look at the beans. My fingies cannot stick through these, so that makes that a gazillion times easier. They were more of a pain in the butt than they were helping. But you know what, Flufferschnoots, there is something different about this video. Do you know what it is? About the audio too. Well, the audio is mostly. So I've got my, I have my lighting dialed in. This is stage 1. I have tried out those, like, if you go on Amazon, you can get LED light fixtures and stuff. They all suck, all of them. You should use a lamp, or you can get fancy pants LED fixtures, not like ring lights. Those are the garbage ones. You want to get, oh, what the heck am I doing? I ramble so easy. Anyway, I have my lighting figured out, so no more yellow light, no more bad lighting. At least not unintentionally. What was that? That was Garrus's claws on the thing behind us. And I brought my old mic setup back. That's probably the biggest thing. I searched and I searched and I looked around. I couldn't figure out what was bothering me about my style. And I figured it out. I made a bunch of changes. And I was trying to move horizontally, but instead I moved diagonally backwards, probably further backwards than laterally. But the mixer I was using is no good. I was really excited about it. It does not work for me. I've gone back. I'm back on my old setup. That's why I've got these microphones going on. But I actually moved away from the microphones because this is a really technically complex setup. And I got sick of it. Like, that's the main reason, is it's a lot of work to set this up. I know that when I edit the audio, it's going to have these pops that I'm going to have to remove because there's some sort of mismatch with the computer in the mixer, like in the interface. And it's not a Linux issue because I've used this on my Windows PC. I don't have Windows PC, my Windows work laptop. And it doesn't do the same thing, but it's like Windows tries to dynamically change the bit rate and it gets all like crackly to the point where I cannot hear them, and it's very strange. So this interface is possessed and computers don't like it, but the special sauce is it has these Midas preamps that allow you to boost the gain a lot higher than you should be able to. And one thing I can do is get a preamp, put it between. I don't know where the preamp would go. Would it go? I would go after the microphone. Anyway, this is what you're hearing. This is the original EG sound. Not completely original, because back in my early days, I didn't have these microphones. I had something else. I don't remember what I had. I had SM57s, but I don't think I was recording with them. Not like ASMR. But I got dual XM8500s, and then I recorded Floofy EG, and then you all found me. So it was this sound right here that I was using. I had no idea I stumbled into something so good. So I broke these into a song just came careening into my mind, and it's a Papa Roach song. I broke the questions. Oh, let me give you a bit of an intro. So 5,000 subs on this channel. A lot of you know me, and that is really, really neat. I'm not really I don't promote, if you couldn't tell. I don't, I have a really complex relationship with YouTube and social media and things like that. Just because I don't really I just don't connect with social media, today's social media. I say today's, it's just, I have another channel where I talk about that kind of stuff. Tech sort of stuff. Federation. That sort of thing. I used to get more excited about milestones and things But to me, for various reasons, they're just numbers. I wish I could. And it's not that I don't see the ceremony. I just find it very difficult to get excited about these sorts of things. I don't want to be a downer, though. What I'm saying is I'm doing this for you, fluffer schnoots. I mean, I like it too, don't get me wrong. I like seeing you happy is really what it comes down to. I like seeing my friends and fans happy, and they're like, oh, this made me feel better. I love the way this sounds, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yes. It's not really like a pride thing. I don't take it as like, oh, these people say me personally, my identity is doing great. EG actually is kind of like a cushion between my ego and the work that I produce. I know that it's me, but when I read comments and people say they really like my stuff, it's not that I don't take it personally. I'm just like, they like the performance. That's excellent. Like, we like that. I'm going to continue it. And the performance is about as close to me as I can be. And I've a whole lot of questions. And we'll get to the questions, actually. I was about to say that there's a lot of questions around my creative process and style. But when I ramble and riff and just go like this, this is like stream of consciousness. There's very little thought. I think that's why I like it. I've thought about this. You're getting a lot of stuff with this. I haven't even gotten to the questions, but I've thought about this. Where is the dopamine coming from? I don't quite know. I think that it's coming from the trust that I have for myself, but also for you. Like, I know what I'm doing, I guess. It's just a self-trust. But I'm here for you, that's it. That's the most important thing. EG is here right at this moment for you. Not for every moment. Plenty of stuff I make for myself. And I do for myself because I enjoy it, and I know that you will too. But I want to get excited about this 5K Q&A for you. Whoa. Why, yes. I can hear that. I can join you in the ASMR. Holy moly. Yeah, I have been missing that. When I use the Yamaha, or when I use the Zoom, it just sounds like sound. There's nothing special about it. The Yamaha mixes it in a weird way, so it takes the binaural away and makes it kind of stereo, sort of, but it's still kind of mono. It's really strange. And then the Zoom, because it has like 4 microphones, it just sounds freaking weird. And it has a binaural mode, but I don't know. Let's see. Is that my computer? That might be my computer. So before I get into the Q&A, I should say that I talked a little bit about the technical challenges I've been having lately. And it's both with the mixer, but also with my computer. When I record with the Zoom, it records to an SD card. Somebody messaged me, an ASMR artist, recently, and they were asking about using the Tascam, or like portable recorders, as an audio source for the computer. Drat. So that was my computer, because now I hear it spinning down. I won't be able to cut that out. I can cut out certain frequencies, but when they modulate like that, I can't cut them out. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because this whole ensemble, from my interface to my computer, it's just so many technical challenges. But this is my sound, and I'm going to get my hammer and my wrench, and I'm going to bang it out. The problem with my laptop, I don't quite know. And I'm going to have to roll up my sleeves and really dig in and figure it out, because it was so bad that I like bailed out on my whole audio setup, only to find out that everything else, I've tried that much, but the other stuff is inferior. I've gone back to my old setup, and now I have to slay the dragons. And I don't know where they are. I don't know what is causing them, but I'm going to figure it out. I'm not going to let this hold me back. So, I asked my supporters on a faraway place called Patreon and eg.xyz, and I said, hey, it would be really neat if we got a little Q&A going. Why don't you ask me some questions? I gave them like a week. The end of the month crept up on me. I'm so happy it's April. March was so busy. But now I have these questions, and I have several pages. Not too bad, huh? Yeah, I fell asleep listening to some AMSR last night. Think of that. And last night and the night before, I've been getting back into ASMR. It's really nice. I've had a rough time with it. Wow, man. My printer is a laser printer. It's a Brother. And it's pretty old, man. I've had it for a long time. This page looks great, and it even has color. Like, the words and letters are perfectly legible. Impressive. Okay. And now we begin. So I grouped these into sections, and I'm just going to answer the questions. Most of the questions were anonymous, though I asked a couple on Le Patreon, and I will credit those in the description. Mainly because these are just like a list of the questions. It grouped into different things so that I can bookmark it. Bookmark it? Timestamp it. Timestamp. Okay. Are you ready? Question number 1. What's your favorite ASMR trigger video that you have ever done? It's hard to say. There's a difference to me between ASMR triggers and stuff. It's hard to say what my favorite is with anything. It depends entirely on my mood. I think that I can talk about some early, I guess some ASMRs that I remember very well because I was really happy with them, or because I learned a lot, like I took something away. Many or most of my role plays, I walk away feeling like it is my magnum opus. I'm like, this is the best thing that I have ever produced. Like, you know, I was really happy with my performance, or I don't know, sounds are good, or something like that, you know? The role plays that I liked the most, that I enjoyed producing, that I guess I remember, the vampire EGs that I've done have been very, very fun and good. That was weird. The very first vampire EG that I did, though, it was kind of like a reading, and while I'm happy with the performance of it, I learned that reading is not the way for me for a performance. Like, I cannot read from a script. and do a voice. Basically, I have to become that character and act it. Floofy EG was probably Nurse EG is really fun too, though. Nurse, yeah, you know, the characters that I get most into are the ones that stand out to me. So for the most recent Vampire EG, I put the Zoom mic on a stand and I walked around it as I talked to you. And while I didn't love the audio, like the audio performance was fine, but the quality wasn't super. It was fine. It's just Zoom. It was just that microphone. Going for Floofy EG though, what made those really enjoyable was getting the scenes in Sons of the Forest or Firewatch. That was really enjoyable. It helped me get into the mind space of what Floofy EG would be doing. That was weird. Something was making really weird noises. I don't know why. Aside from that, though, you know, there's a lot of early videos actually are some of my favorite. I get, see, that's the tricky thing with favorite. Is it favorite for me as a creator or favorite triggers? I think probably the water. My favorite audio trigger that I've made, that just the sounds good, is the wood and water. Really, really nice. Wood and soapy water. And I think there's a lot of places you can go with that. You can change up the bowl, you can change up the spoon, you can change up the wood. You know what else was really good is the Sponge Daddy one. That's a recent one and I'm really happy with it. I gotta do it again with these mics. If it sounded good on the Zoom, can you imagine how it's gonna sound on the dynamic mic? The Scrub Daddies are legendary in ASMR. Do you have a favorite of your own ASMR videos? You guys are this is such a cute question. 2 back to back. What's your favorite ASMR? What's your favorite ASMR? Do you have a favorite of your own video? You know, another set of favorites, and this is almost like a format, is when EG does really weird, whimsical stuff. Like, I'm going to make coffee for you. I'm going to make coffee and drink it and talk with you. Like, what the hell? I'm going to wrap Christmas presents in Pawbs. What? Those are pretty fun, though. Those are just enjoyable videos. What other channels do you like? Or what's your favorite series of videos? If I had to pick a favorite, so this is funny, but I think that my favorite series in my head is Barbarian EG, and that's one that I'm probably least happy with as far as like everything, really. Not the art. The art is amazing, but the performance of myself, the voice, and the sounds, the scenes, like I think what Barbarian EG is like probably my weakest one as far as what people connected with, and I think this theme sucked. I think that it was disjointed, and you had to care about the character to know what was going on. Like Floofy EG is easy. You became a werewolf, and then he's your guide, and he's really cute, kind of gay, and it all works out. But Barbarian EG needs, like, who is he? Like, I mean, he's a stud, but like, I mean, you need more than that, I think. But I really enjoyed it because I like role playing that character. That's why. I really like Barbarian EG. It's so cool. Nurse EG was fun. To be fair, when I say Nurse EG, I mean Sevastopol EG. OG Nurse EG was fine. I don't really have it. It seemed like a fun and easy roleplay concept to do, but I don't really have a connection to it. Even though I did do one. I did like a live action Nurse EG. It is fine. It's just doctor roleplays are just fun and easy to do. That's all. But Sevastopol EG, that again, it's like with Floofy EG going on location in the game to get stuff. That was really fun with Sevastopol EG. I mean, it's aliens. I love aliens. Of course, I would love to wander around Sevastopol Station. What other channels do you like? Surge ASMR. I really like Surge ASMR. I think he's a Polish guy. He's just like a Polish dude. And he makes really artistic videos. And they're really good. I like him a lot. He's one of my biggest. Ephemeral Rift. I like his older stuff. His older role plays really inspired me, and probably my biggest inspiration, if I'm honest. All of them. And then there are a few. I don't know what to call them. Just easy to look at ASMR, where the sounds are very good, but like the pretty creator is kind of why you tune in. Yeah. What's one ASMR series that you wanted to do but never could get around to producing? Psychiatrist EG. For sure. Definitely. And there's probably more. But when I read that question, that was my chair again. When I read that question for the first time, I was like, oh, like a doctor, psychiatrist, hypnotist, EG, for sure. I think, and I'm actually going to go to the next question and answer them both. Somebody says, do you still plan to make roleplay ASMR videos? And the answer is, well, yes, of course. It's part of my identity as EG. But the reason why I haven't lately and why I have not gotten to Dr. EG is because my desire to do this, Fluffer Schnoots, does not come from my drive. Comes from what I want to do. Like, I need passion for it. I thought I'd be able to explain this better. Wow. I've thought about this and I'm having trouble finding the words. A lot of things motivate a man. And I know certain things that motivate me and give me passion, but I cannot just drop into the boots and paws and claws of another character without truly wanting to be and do that. And my life lately has been very turbulent, and I can't get into a character with that going on. So I need a safe place mentally, and the excitement that motivates me, that makes me want to do it. Like I'm saying, there are things that get me going and make me want to produce and make me want to make really cool stuff. And it doesn't happen passively. I'm not just sitting in my chair and I'm like, that. Sometimes it happens that way, but something big. And that's what I'm saving hypnotist, psychiatrist, EG for. Is I want to have all of that passion, and I'm going to pour it into this character, and it's going to be awesome. But the thing is that it's not going to be awesome for you. I'm not producing it, and then I'm going to be like, look at Fluffer Schnoots, I'm so good. I want to produce it and then listen back and say, God damn, EG, that's good. I want to be happy with it, because if I'm happy with it, you'll probably be happy with it. And I think that that's how healthy creation is. Like, I gotta make something for my fans. They'll be happy. They want you. That's what you want, anyways. That's what all these questions that you want to know about me. You want me. So that's why some things take a while. Will I make role plays again? Yes. Yes, I will. Especially now that I've got these mics back. Holy smokes. Yeah. It's like an assault. It's a comprehensive assault on your ears, and it feels so good. What is the most luring aspect about ASMR? I'm unsure if luring is supposed to be alluring, or like what calls me to ASMR, what attracts me to it, what makes me want to listen to it or produce it even. ASMR to me is adjacent to music. It is not music in the traditional sense, but it is adjacent to it because it's a sound art, it's an audio art that occupies a lot of the same places, a lot of the same feelings and emotions, right? You can listen to a song and feel relaxed. It changes your mood. ASMR does that. It can make you feel relaxed. It can make you feel other things, but it makes you feel something. And there is a video side of it. I think that music videos are art just the same. If you listen to a song and then watch the... Why did the light just change? That was so weird. Dude, why did that happen? Am I going nuts? I could be going completely nuts and nothing changed at all. Maybe it was my monitor. I think what's going on when that happens is my mouth is just moving. It just, sounds are coming out of it, and they appear to be translations from my brain. But since I'm not driving, like I'm letting the car drive itself, I'm kind of in the passenger seat, it means that my eyeballs are watching everything, and also my ears are listening to everything. So if the smallest thing changes, my brain is like, stop the clock. We've got to figure out what's going on. That was just really funny. Anyway, I am not even through the first page, and there's a whole nother page, and it's taken me a while to get through it. So, what is the most luring aspect of ASMR? I'll be honest. I lay down in my bed, and I put on the ASMR, and it's got nice sounds, it's got a pretty face, and I actively try to fight falling asleep. I'm like trying not to, because I want to watch. I want to be a part of what's going on. It's like my eyes are closing, they open back up. I'm like trying to fight to stay awake. It feels really dangerously good. Like, doesn't it feel like something you're not supposed to be getting into? Like, why? This is like some strange hack. I love it. Never have trouble falling asleep. I gotta adjust myself. I'm back. This seat is so loud. So yeah, it's the relaxation. I like the creators. One thing I'll say before I move to the next one. Actually, the next one is, what's your favorite video to film? You're so cute. I love it. It also says not just ASMR. It could be the hobby channel. I have a lot of videos from the hobby channel that I have very vivid memories of. The table is really squeaking. I have to cut all of the squeaks out, so if you could stop, that would be super. You know, this is funny because it's so long ago. The videos that I probably treasure the most on my hobby channel. Okay, I've had that channel a long time. I've produced a lot of content on it. Distro delves, of course. There are numerous distro delves. I could do a video as a retrospective. Why don't I? Why in the hell don't I do a distro delves retrospective, like a real one? Not just season 2, but all of them. Like, what's your favorite delve? I could answer that, but I would go on and on and on. There are different eras of EG that I remember. I can't pick a video that I love the most. I really can't. They're all, see, that's the thing though. I try not to make crap. They're all my favorite. I love them all. Early EG, I did a short series on the steam machine, Valve's first foray into the realm of computing, I guess. I thought it was sick. I thought it was really good, but it was rough around the edges. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna build a steam machine, and then I'm gonna make content on it, showing you how to do this and that stuff. And that was before EG. It was, I think that the channel was probably called EG, but that was before Furry EG. And I appeared in the video more, so if you ever wanted to see young EG, you could watch those. But I was so happy. Like, I was like, look, it was like me with the TV and stuff. Those were, I have very fond memories of those. Very sweet. Naive EG. But then, yeah, Distro Delves was really enjoyable. I'm not going to try to pull up my favorite distro delve. It'd take me too long. Do you remember the first time you found out about ASMR? Yes. Do you remember the first time you found out about furry ASMR? Yes. I don't delve too far, too often into my personal life, but I'll let a bit fall here because you'll probably like it. So, when I had my first baby, it was very difficult to fall asleep when it was not my shift to take care of them. And that's when I would lay in bed and try to find something to make the world quiet so that I could get a couple hours of sleep. And I really enjoyed white noise and brown noise, and I had experimented with, they were like hypnosis videos. I guess that's where, it wasn't ASMR and I didn't know what I was doing, but I would find these hypnosis videos on YouTube and I would listen to them and fall asleep to them, but it was just a dude talking. Like, I wasn't getting hypnotized. It was just nice hearing the same thing spoken over and over and over again. And I think that's where I learned that I could have something on and listen to and fall asleep and have it be pleasant. But when I first discovered ASMR, there were two that I found that I remember, and neither of them are around anymore. So I am very sensitive to your fears, Flufferschnoots, of like, oh my gosh, what if EG just vanishes? I'm not going to let that happen because I know what it's like. I was laying there and looking for things, and I came across ASMR. And I was like, okay. And the first ASMR artist that I took a liking to, there were two. There was one called Equine Cutie, and another one called Heather Feather. A lot of people know Heather Feather. And there was an ASMR that she did. I could tell you why her style was so interesting. A lot of her videos were very, not rough or raw or lo-fi, but certainly not hi-fi. And it was very personal, like she was talking to you like a friend. But, oh my gosh, my stomach goes grrr. I'm kind of hungry, actually. Anyway, it's just a type of ASMR that it's hard to find today. The closest thing, and another ASMR artist that I found around this time was Fast ASMR. And her early videos are a lot like that. It's very like lo-fi, and it's just like a camera and a crummy microphone, and you're just kind of talking to it. But I remember this one that Heather Feather did, where she put the microphone down on the floor and walked around it and like jumped over it. It was just being really silly and cute. I still remember that. And that is my first foray into traditional ASMR. My introduction into furry ASMR was Snowball, actually. I was just watching ASMR, and the algorithm recommended me some furry ASMR, of which Snowball was in there. And yeah, big inspiration. But I don't watch much furry ASMR anymore, to be quite honest with you. I know that I have fans and patrons and people that I inspire. And I know about you. I'm aware. It's just very, and I like you. I love my fans and my people that are inspired by my work. I just have a very hard time visiting furry ASMR these days, that's all. And now we're on to the next set of questions. Let me, actually, I'll take a break in a moment. What is your favorite part of being a furry? I really like that I'm not the weirdest one. I like the community where you're embraced for being you. And you're not shunned, you're not told to turn it down, you're not told to stop it. And it all just like works. Like you'd think, well, if everybody's just on high all the time, then it would be nuts. Like, yes. But it works. Everybody's a goofball and they can express themselves. And I have always subscribed to the notion that people are going to people. People are going to do what they want. They're going to do what they love. And you can't stop them. You can try. And here you have a community where everybody's just like goofy. And I love animals. I really love animals. I love my dog Garrus. I don't like living with cats, but I fawn all over them when I find one that loves love. I love animals, and dressing up and seeing people dress up as them brings me joy. It's not even animals. Like, people dress up as all kinds of stuff. I mean, is a dragon an animal? Yes, I suppose so, but it's like taking cosplaying. It's just cosplaying to the next level, and I don't even know if it's just that. It's like, it's just the furry fandom. Yes, it would not have it any other way. Something that I love about the community is the weirdness is the protective shell. Like, no outside influence could possibly co-opt it because it is so nuts. There's a meme that floats around sometime that's like, I can't remember the format exactly, but it's basically like all of the weird stigma and like stuff people do is keeping it safe from corporations coming in and monetizing it because they don't want to have anything to do with it. Like, yeah, cool. Stay away. Yeah, we're too much for you. So, the next question. There's a couple questions. Yeah, they're the same. They're basically the same. Are you planning on buying or making a fursuit? If so, can you show us the fursona you want to use? Will you ever get a fursuit head of EG? Since you already have the pause. And I think there's even one more. I think that there's one more question around fursuiting. Do you ever... Oh, that just fell. Yeah, any plans for a fursuit? So there's 3 questions around. Will you get a fursuit? I have one. Look. This is my fursuit. No. So, did you know that in an alternate universe, I have a fursuit and I am performing with an EG mask? The frog in my throat tried to escape. That I am performing with an EG mask right now. That could have happened, but the maker ghosted me. Yeah, it was almost done. And then they went completely MIA. Such a shame. But I do have something interesting that I can show to you. Hello. I don't know how well this works. I am inside of a mask. I also cannot monitor, or I didn't think to because I just put the mask on. But funny that you ask about fursuits because I have a mask. Hello, you can see my snoot. Doo-doo, doo-doo. Oh, Look, the mouth moves. I don't want to move. Can I, like, snake myself over? Let's see. Oh, this is cool. Nice little teaser. It's kind of jacked up. Can I do this? Look at my head. So, it is a mask from Spirit Halloween. And I know that these are divisive, but I got it for Halloween, basically. And I also got it because I wanted to see what it was like to have a mask. And it's outrageously fun. It's really fun. So yes, I will absolutely get a fursuit one day. I guess the only thing that's stopping me right at this point is sourcing one. No, that's not true. That's only part of it because then I have to squeaked again. Man. Stop it. EG, quit. I've got all these thoughts running through my head. I've got to shut it down. Okay. Yeah, so I got to source one, and I've got to figure out, like, what exactly the ref sheet is pretty solid. I don't think I need to figure any of that out. Like, EG's design is not likely going to change. Oh my gosh, I only have 20 minutes left. You know what? I'm going to make part 2. I am actually going to, how many more of these? Oh my goodness. We've only gotten through like a quarter of these. I just take too long. And I'm doing it right now. Like I could go through the questions, but I'm sitting here screwing around instead. Let me get through the furry questions and then I'll pick this up tomorrow, I guess. Oh, was that my paper? Oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind. I thought I heard like, it sounded like skittering, like animal skittering. Anyway, let's just get the show on the road. I am falling behind. So yeah, to answer your questions around fursuiting, it is an inevitability. But right now, the lack of time and the lack of sources, that's really it. And feel free to help me. Like, feel free to let me know who you recommend, who's good. I mean, like I mentioned, I've been ghosted, and I've actually been. I haven't been ghosted as many times as the. Some people have had really bad experiences. I've only been ghosted 3, maybe 4 times in the community. You know, that's not okay. It shouldn't happen, not even once. And unfortunately, the things, I'm getting off track again. Basically, yeah, I need to source it, and then I need time to sit down and like go through it and do it. But yeah, it could totally happen. It will happen. Let's see. What style? What style should EG be? What do you think? Should it be toony? Should he be realistic? What should he be? Questions around furry conventions. 3. Do you ever plan on attending some sort of furry conventions? Maybe even some international ones? Are you planning to going on any conventions this year or possibly the next? So there is I don't know. Yes. The short answer is yes. The long answer is I don't know. I don't have anybody to go with. And I love the idea of going. I don't know what I would do. If I had EG, I guess I could walk around and say hi to people, but I don't know. Yes, the short answer is yes, the long answer is I don't know. There's one just south of me that I could drive to. There's one in Portland, which is near the city I live. Actually, I think there's 2 up there. I think there's one downtown. There's one over by the airport. But there are conventions that I should go to, but I just haven't. It's not even time. Like a lot of time, I don't have the time. I could make the time. I could just take time off and go. But I don't have anybody to go with, and I don't have anything to do, and I don't know what I would do. I do and will go to place. So I think I've told this story before. The first place I saw a fursuiter, and it changed me. It really did, because I'm telling you right here. Like years in the future, it had such an impact on me. I don't know who it was, but it was a charismatic suit, and it was at Portland Game Con, and they were just like hanging out. It was them and their handler and like 2 other people, and they were just talking, and I was there with friends, and I was like, what is that? And they were like, that's a furry. And I'm like, tell me more. And now here we are in 2026, and I'm telling you that story right after I said I'm going to get a fursuit. So whoever that was, you inspired EG, and we have you to thank. All of us do. It was so cool. Like, whoa. It was like a wolf. It was a standard furry, I guess. Like not a dragon, nothing with wings, nothing with like a huge tail or anything. It was just like a wolf. Like a colored one, you know, but nothing crazy. Nothing unique. It's plenty unique. It's just like, you know how some people have patterns that you're like, oh, I know you. I don't remember. Yep. Do you have a small? Do you have a small random bit of EG lore that you've never shared before? EG lore? Like EG the character? EG lore or Brian lore. I guess the answer for, like, if I were to ask you, what do you mean? You'd be like, anything. Is there a piece of lore that I haven't? So I've tried to put EG into the story. You know, like a whole piece of lore. I'll pivot, actually. Let me tell you about this lore. I have a whole world that I'm building. I thought that I was going to put EG in it. I don't know if I'm going to, though. I think that he'll appear in it. But the world I've discovered, I've figured it out. Like, I've done a lot of thinking and writing about it. But it's a sci-fi story. When the last vampire EG that I did, it was he finds you backstage because he's hosting a gala. He's hosting an event because he's ancient and he's always been there and he knows everything. And he has a big estate that he has you come over to. That vampire EG is in my world. It's in my little, like, universe that I built. That takes place at a more contemporary time. But as I built the world, if there's a future from, you know, where you're working on, like if you look at, say, Elder Scrolls, is that a sci-fi world? Well, no, it's a fantasy world because there doesn't appear to be a future outside of, you know, swords and magic. So when I write my vampire EG piece about his, the event that he threw, there's no swords or shields going on. It's contemporary, you know, like people drove there. You know, what they drove, you know, was it like an electric car, a gas car? I don't know. They commuted there. But there's a future to it. What happens after the estate? Well, I mean, in the story, they've got like spaceships. They're cruising around in space and visiting other stars. So this piece of vampire EG is just simply a picture of the past. So that's not really lore per se, but I guess the lore about me is that I am writing a sci-fi story with a very, very rich history that I can pull myself into and do all kinds of stuff with. EG may or may not be in it. I mentioned a character called Maximilian Resdevalt. He is in the story. Another character that I've talked about is Summer. She is in the story. And so is Winter. And I have a lot of characters in that story. I just don't exactly know where EG sits in there. Are EG and Brian two different personalities? Can EG do something Brian can't, or vice versa? Or is EG simply Brian's online persona? That is a tough one. That is a very good philosophical question. And I have pondered it. I have thought about that. Are EG and Brian two different personalities? Yes. EG is a subset of Brian, and lately I've struggled to identify with EG. It is something that has been getting in the way of my creativity, if I'm honest. I was in a group call recently, and I made the joke that where I'm working these days, it seems like pretty much everywhere, people rely on me, and they look to me as like a rock. They want somebody reliable and somebody stable, somebody that has answers, somebody that can do it. And they always seem to turn to me. I've realized that is what you like from me, isn't it? I mean, I have a nice voice and everything. Microphones sound good and camera looks good, but I make you feel safe and secure. I make you feel like there's nothing wrong and nothing bad gonna happen. And if at work I naturally exude that, where people rally around me and they say, Brian knows. Brian's the expert here. I guess I'm channeling a bit of EG. And I've actually started to look at it that way too. Not literally. I don't go to work and I'm EG, but I accept it. I'm like, because that's kind of weird to kind of wake up and open your eyes and realize that everybody is looking at you because they want you to lead them to success. Like, isn't that a lot on your shoulders? For me, it's just Tuesday. It doesn't register to me. I'm not like, these people depend on me. That thought is not even anywhere near my mind. Nowhere. I don't know why. It just isn't. So they say, Brian, we need you to do this thing. I'm like, okay, done. Here you go. Delivered. Stamp. I can't do everything, but people that know me and people that know how to lead, the place I'm at now, very effective leadership. Like, all leaders are dumb. Like, all leaders make dumb choices, but leaders that can identify a talent or asset, resource, and allocate it accordingly and maximize efficiency, that is a talented leader. And there are a lot of them there. So these leaders arrange things, and I'm like on my own. I am on a silo. I am so blessed to be working on one thing, and these people are like, help us, review this. Do we have permission to do this? I'm like, sure. Anyway, that's enough about me. What I'm saying is that EG is like a hyper slice of that, which appears to manifest in my own personal life. So in a way, I feel like EG is almost a mirror of my best traits. And that's why I don't identify with him, is because I don't feel like that all the time. I don't feel like, $1 million. Quite the opposite. I usually feel like I'm in debt $1 million. I guess it's the curse of being a perfectionist. Like, I see everything that I don't do. And I try not to live too severely and beat myself up over it, but sometimes I find myself falling into those cycles. I've thought about whether I need not to replace EG, but to augment him, because I can't hurt him. I could never inflict harm or trauma on EG. That sounds silly, but I couldn't go back and write his history and be like, yeah, some really bad things happened to him, and then that's why he is the way that he is. Like, that feels terrible to me. I wouldn't want my fictional character to go through some bullshit. And that is, going back to the furry fandom and community, I can say that to you and you know exactly what I mean. But if I said that to anybody else, it would be like, that wouldn't be shunned or anything. It would just be, it wouldn't compute. They would hear it and they'd be like, huh. But you know what I'm talking about, having a character and feeling connected to them in a way that you can say, I wouldn't want to mentally hurt my character. So what do? I think I might have another character someday. And that character embodies all of my like trauma and all of the terrible things that I've encountered. Because I cannot explore that with EG. I don't want to. So yeah. EG is not Brian's persona. EG is used often for tech and anywhere I want to present myself in a positive sort of way. He's very cute. He's a very charismatic character, isn't he? So I use him occasionally like that. And then finally, this is actually one below it is any plans for a fursuit. I answered that, but the next one is actually very similar to why are you a furry? It says, what does being a furry mean to you? What draws you to this community or the kind of characters? Well, you got a peek of that. My dad also loves animals. I mentioned I love animals, and my dad also loves animals. He was a hunter for a long time, and he stopped. He grew up being a hunter, and he doesn't hunt anymore. And he's said in the past he doesn't like shooting the animals. And I didn't. It's not that I didn't believe him. It's that that was something an adult would say. But no, as an adult, I believe him. Yeah, I don't think it like hurts like hunters. What I'm trying to say is that hunters and outdoors people, even though yes they kill the animals, they often have a very fond love for them and respect for them. My sister and brother-in-law are like that. They're hunters. They're bow hunters, actually. And they love animals, and they love fishing and stuff like that. I think it is being connected to the animals that we love. As an aside, and this is like my last riff before I gotta shut it down and switch to the next track. Yeah, we're running out of tape. I'm going to have to stop. It's going to look different because I have to put all of this away. Maybe I'll switch the... Yeah, you know what? I'm going to make part 2. That's what I'm going to do. It's going to be one video, but you're going to see it transition. It's just going to be like a really freaking long video. What was I saying? I got talking about something silly. I think I said I was going to riff about something. I forgot about the thing I was going to freaking riff about. Huh. What draws you to this community? I see what you did there. Being able to create a character, the furry fandom is way more complex than meets the eye. Like, oh, a bunch of people acting like animals. Yeah, kind of. Like, not even really. Like, they don't act like they're walking on their feet. Like, they go and they dance goofy. It's almost more of a way to be goofy in a semi-anonymous sort of way. Because even when I put the mask on, the one from Spirit, it's so much easier. My thing squeaked. I think I may have cut that out. When I put the Spirit mask on, it's so much easier and funner to like let loose and just be goofy. And I think that it's the sense of anonymity. Even when your human eyes are in a mask behind something, it tells you that you're freer to, like, you know, be more outgoing, I guess. And I think that's really cool. The suits are all really pretty, and yeah, there you go. A lot of flowing and gushing. I love it. I'm very passionate. I just love it all. And these people are really passionate, goofy. And I'm here for it. I am here for it. Very accepting group. And we are back. Are you further away from me? I gotta turn you up. There. Okay. So admittedly, there might be distance between this video and the next. This ASMR. I'm doing this at the beginning of April. But that's because I really, before I recorded this 5K, it's a new day, by the way. This is part 2. I'm just like diving right in. But before I recorded this, I did a sound check thingy and put it up on my PeerTube for supporters. But it was basically just a test, just testing my audio setup here. And I said earlier that this is the way, this is how EG is supposed to record. This is his style. But, I mean, could I please have, like, fewer bugs? I get it, This Behringer has got my sound, it's good, but, man, I don't want to deal with the notching. I don't want to deal with this table creaking and making noises. I don't want to deal with this thing. Still kind of doing it. Like, I'll go back to basics, but dude, I don't like to fight with my equipment. And as I was setting this up, I can hear it spinning. I'll probably condition the audio so it's not too bad, but I mean, I've recorded with this setup before and my laptop didn't do this. I have it on power save mode and the fan is spinning. So something has gone terribly awry with the poor thing. And because I use my laptop to record, it has to be in the same room. And as it spins up, it cuts into the audio. Oh, God. This ends up being a lot of work. I'm really hot, too. Usually in the morning, it's very cold, but humid. And lately, it's been a little bit on the warmer side, but what am I going to do, pant? So before I got it, as I was getting everything rolling, I wanted to kind of look at my YouTube and all my channels and well, not like all my channels, but I look at my subscriptions and what I've been kind of like watching and stuff. And Furry ASMR has exploded. There's tons and tons of content out there. So there is no hurt for content, that's for sure. It looks like a lot of new creators are VR, which looks really, really neat. But, EG is, I mean, by default, EG is Furry ASMR, but I'm happy to be in the space. But there's a lot of hurt. Makes it very hard to get over and enjoy it. I will say that there are a few. I mentioned a few YouTubers earlier. Somebody asked who I watch. The only entity that I consume of the furry ASMR variety at the moment is on Twitch, and it's Pesca Panda. I don't watch ASMR on Twitch. I don't really watch Twitch like at all. I don't really consume stuff. I produce it. I don't consume much. I actually don't remember how I discovered them. I think I got raided, actually. I think I got raided, and I was like, who's this? And then I was like, wow, this is neat. Just have a really nice voice. But yeah, I think Surge might be my go-to. There's also another ASMR artist called Sarge. And Sarge, I think it's Sarge ASMR. But that's who I got Scrub Daddies from. He has like an hour-long video of Scrub Daddy sounds. And that's where I first heard it. Oh. This one's done. Yep. Back to the questions. Yes. So the last question that I answered was, what does a furry mean? What does being a furry mean to you? And I think I answered that. You know, I was thinking about it, and I don't really walk around with this notion that I'm a furry in my head. I'm just like, I'm a furry by association, I think. I'm a furry by, somebody says you're a furry, I'm like, yeah, sure. Sometimes I self-identify, but I just identify as like a dude that likes this stuff. I think the thing that what draws you to this community, that's the part I thought about it. And I think that I can whittle it down by saying that it's like freedom of expression in a form. I wouldn't say like in its purest form or something, you know, cliche like that, but there is what I find really interesting about the fandom as like as an example for the world that this can happen, that you have a community where everybody is very exuberant, everybody is very intense about their interests and passion. And it's a very wide range from benign to extreme. But everybody gets, for the most part, everybody gets along. Like they go to cons and stuff, and not everybody agrees with everybody, like what everybody, you know, everybody's interests are. And there's some gatekeeping and some call outs and stuff, but despite that, everybody gets along. And it's like it's a market. It's like a revenue market in and of itself. But it has a stigma that a lot of brick and mortar, a lot of like traditional companies and people won't touch because it's stinky, because it's smelly, because it's fetishy, and they're like, oh no. But yet, if you look at the community, everybody's fine. Like if you don't like that, you don't like what's going on that site, you just stay away from it. That's my favorite thing, is everybody does what they want, has their own interests, and you just partake in what you want and avoid what you don't. Like it's this crazy thing called life. And it's happening right outside the window. There's stuff out there that you would not approve of that's happening inside of somebody's house, inside of a building or something. You can't stop them. But people always want to. They want to stop what they don't like. But here's this community where everybody's just like, whatever. We're all just like weirdos, and we're doing our own thing, dressing up like animals, bouncing around and going to just crazy stuff. And it's fine. And then people go home. They're sick from going out and having fun, and they go back to their daily jobs. That's what I like about it. I don't know of another community that is so big and so vast and so welcoming and just like works the way that the furry fandom does. I'm sure there are, but I don't know of any. Everybody's too busy fighting, or it's all like really homogenous, where it's just like, it's huge, but it's just one thing. All right. Now it's time for the personal and lifestyle questions. How are you doing tonight? That's a great question, and a great question to start with. I stayed up too late last night, actually. I was streaming on Twitch and having way too much fun. And I looked at the clock and it was like 9:30, which is late for me because it's 4. I wake up at like 4 a.m. So I rolled out of bed at 4:30 and I took Garrus out. He's a really good boy. He's like laying there, but he's looking around like, why did you say my name? And I've complained a lot about the setup for these shoots. And nothing's changed. It's still a bear. I'm just not complaining about it. Having the mics on booms is really nice. The mic, or the camera is way up there. It's like higher than my monitor. Like it's halfway up the window, actually. Like I have a window over there, and it's halfway up the window thing. So the camera is on a tripod. It's up in the sky, looking down at me. But how am I doing? I'm okay. I've had a very successful week. This week, awesome. Oh my God, I deserve it. Oh, I also found out. I found out something wonderful. Oh, dude. So I'm like a contractor, consultant sort of thing. My job is not. They could pull me out of the wall like a plug in an outlet at any time. Like there's no job security, but that's okay. Like I'm not stressed. It just is. I work for someone that'll just send me someplace else. So, but I like this gig that I'm at because it's really challenging. It's hard, but it feels good. Like I'm growing. I'm learning. I like the people. I just have a lot of good things to say. But it is, contingency. So my life would be much happier if I had some form of stability that I could depend on. And I got word this week that the contract is supposedly good. I don't mean to say supposedly like it's a bad thing. It's just there's no guarantees in this industry. But he said, and the client likes us, so we're good for the year. So if I can put my, like job searching and just all that mind space behind me so that I can focus on my life and e.g. content and things like that, then that's great. And I got that news this week. This week was already great. So I'm doing good. Earlier this week, we had a Team Fortress 2 stream on the EG Discord, and it was good. Can I pull this out? This isn't. Shit. All right, we're doing this live. I need this closer. That's fine. It's not. This'll do. I just want it close because I notice when I lean into this one, you can hear me. You can see my hair too. You see that one? Hi. I should, you want to talk about being open, something I would have never talked about before that I think that I could do a video on, as I'm feeling comfortable with myself enough, is on my hair. I love my hair, and I think in one of these videos someday I'll talk to you about my hair and what it means to me. I'm very happy about it. Anyway, how am I doing? I'm doing very well. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What music are you currently listening to? So, here we go. My Spotify Wrapped or whatever it is at the end of the year is going to have a couple songs that I have listened to on loop and replay. And right now, I'm obsessed with a few songs. I go to the gym and listen to them. I listen to them in the morning. Sometimes I put them on in the middle of the day and I'm dancing to it. I listen to this all the time, and it's called Big Old Jet Airliner. Or I think it's just called Jet Airliner by Paul Pina, but you know it by Steve Miller. It starts out with a really swanky riff. I love it. I love that song. I'm going to cover it one of these days because it's just a really nice, it's a really groovy song. You want to hear, what did they listen to in the 70s when they had groovy tunes going on? Put on that song, and that is the definition of a groovy song from the 70s. By Steve Miller. The Paul Pina one is different. It's still groovy, but it's more heartfelt, and the lyrics are, I love songs like this. Like, the tune is driving, and it's head bobbing, like, it's kind of nice. Oh, went down high before. Man, I can't sing on the fly like that. Like, the words get smooshed together and it loses the melody. Yeah, I'm not even going to try. I can't think of it. But the lyrics in the original, the non-Dave Matthews, what the hell? No, Steve Miller. The non-Steve Miller one, it's not sad. It's like it's got this happy kind of tune, groovy tune, but the lyrics are actually they're not sad. They're incredibly relatable, even if you have not experienced what he's singing about. It's about getting on a jet airplane and going someplace far away and not being sure if it's the right choice. Like, it really related. You talk about getting on a bus, like anything where you're flying away and you're like, I'm not sure. Everything my heart is telling me, but I'm doing it anyway. It is a really nice song. But I've been listening to that a lot, all the time. And there's 2 versions of it, so I can't get enough. The other song that I've been listening to more Prince. I know that's surprising, but I love Prince, and he's produced so much music that the discoveries will never stop. And I found some kind of, I don't know. They're not deep cuts. I mean, he produced so many singles that. Anyway, Prince is still a journey. And I've been back listening to future funk. I've been back listening to Young Bay and Mitch Murder. Really, really good stuff. Music is going well. Oh, and lastly, I talked about Rage Against the Machine in another video. I don't remember which one. But since making that, I discovered another Rage song it's an older one that is off, I think, their first album, and it's called Know Your Enemy, and it's one of the coolest songs I have ever heard in my life. Tom's riff throughout it is so cool. The solo is really lame. I usually turn it off once it gets to the solo, but the menacing rhythm is just so cool. I like the angry lyrics too. Yeah, that's probably my favorite Rage Against the Machine song. Another really good one is Sleep Now in the Fire. Like, they've got a lot of songs. I don't like most of them, but the ones that I do like are really good, and Sleep Now in the Fire is awesome. I really like it, not all the time, but when it's applicable, when artists and bands put like weird stuff where like at the end of Sleep Now in the Fire, there's a radio playing as it fades out, and it's a Korean radio station. There's a story behind it, but I love that kind of stuff. Music trivia. Like, why did they leave that in? Like, so that wasn't an accident. It's not like somebody was, oh, turn the recording off. There's something going. Like, the band knew it was like, what is the story with that? I love that kind of stuff. What is your favorite niche movie? Um, I have a lot of movies that I like that people typically don't, but I'll have to visit movies another time because I never have them on the forefront of my mind. I'd have to sit down and think. I'm trying to become more media literate. I never cared. I never really cared about movies and media. And to be fair, I don't. But I care because the people that I care about do, and I want to feel involved. I got asked today. No, not today. I don't know why I said today right there. I got asked by a coworker if I had seen Silicon Valley. And everybody in my field knows that, has seen it. So there's no excuse for me not. Like, there is an excuse. I don't watch media. Like, I don't do that. But I got to figure out how to. What's a niche movie I like? Most of the niche movies that I do like, it's because I watched them when I was younger and I didn't know any better. Here's some hot takes. People think these are terrible, and that's fine. Maybe they are. Dumb and Dumber. I hope that doesn't speak to my taste. I have memories watching that, though. Like, I had it on tape, and I watched it on cable TV a lot. Like, it would come through as reruns. So it became kind of like a comfort movie. I actually don't love Jim Carrey. I find his drama really good, but I don't find his humor that funny. And Dumb and Dumber is interesting because it's I don't want to call it a bad movie, but everybody says it's a bad movie. I don't know what's bad about it though. Like, the humor isn't for everybody. It's got it's not like, knee slapping humor. It's like dumb. But like I've met there's this guy that used to quote the movie. I've talked about him in my rambles before. I miss him a lot. But he would drop these movie quotes, and some of the movie quotes were from Dumb and Dumber. And like he wouldn't act, but like he would voice act the part where Jim Carrey is like, we have no food, we have no whatever he's saying. It's like, our pets' heads are falling off. It's just so funny. I guess that's the humor. It's absurdism. Like, he's going on this big theatrical thing. Oh, he lost his wallet. They were going out for beer and he lost his wallet. But anyway, he's just like freaking out, and they just like broke into their house and did something weird with their pet. It's just like the whole thing is absurd. But people say it's not a very good movie. Wayne's World 1 is also a movie that I watched a gazillion times. And I've never heard anybody say Wayne's World's a good movie. It also has that kind of weird energy. People must not like that. Like, generally speaking. I don't know. Like, it's funny, but it's also really serious at the same time. Like, they don't realize. But then Wayne's talking to the camera sometimes. There's a scene I remember watching a lot when I was a kid and thinking it was so funny, and just bursting into laughter. There's a scene towards the end of the movie where Wayne's really mad because everybody is like bailing on him, and he goes to his studio and there's some stuff, there's like ninjas or some nonsense going on. He walks out, he starts getting pissed off and like yelling at the camera, and he's like, I'm getting dumped on, that's all, dumped on. He says like shit on, but you know what really pisses me off? And then the camera turns and walks away, and he's like, okay, come back. And they really, like, it's not Hollywood, but The Office, everybody was talking to the camera, but this was like the earlier mid-90s. Nobody was really doing that, so that was really funny at the time. I don't think my taste, I've heard Gone in 60 Seconds is a really bad movie too. Now, I'll admit that Gone in 60 Seconds is probably a dick flick, but I mean, I think it's a pretty good one. I've heard people say, oh, well, you know, the stunts they do with the cars is Gone in 60 Seconds. Hello. Why is. No, I'm not Gone in 60 Seconds. What's that? What is it? Fast and Furious. That's what it is. Yeah, Fast and Furious. Hello. You want to talk about unrealistic stuff, but it's fine. Like, why does Gone in 60 Seconds get flack for it? The heck? I think it's good. I like cars. Don't you? And then what about Ocean's 11? Not the original one from the 60s, but the one from the 2000s, I think, with George Clooney and Brad Pitt. And I think that's a really good one. Julia Roberts is in it. So, but I don't really watch movies and stuff. And I don't think those are niche, are they? God forbid. Now, fun fact. It is a brand new day. This is day number 3. However, I'm back on Friday recording this little edition because when I was answering one of the furry questions that I don't know where I'm going to put this clip, probably right after I answered it wrongly. I answered, what's your favorite, basically like your media, movies, games, and stuff. But I answered it generic, like, I don't really watch too many movies. But you asked about furry stuff. So it's entirely possible I already answered this, but recording over 3 days for like 2 hours, you don't mind if I repeat myself. So let me answer that question again. E.g., do you have any favorite furry movies, furry games? And yes, I do, actually. I don't watch, I find myself watching what I enjoy watching, and I don't enjoy regular media. Like, I don't watch things to know what people are talking about, typically. I might be doing that more lately, but in the past, I just, like, somebody says, it's not the first time I had heard about Silicon Valley, for example, but I was never like, oh, I should go watch that. And maybe I should, I don't know. I watched a lot of cartoons as a little boy. And one of my favorite little series was The Rescuers. There was the one where they're in the Louisiana swamp, and then there was the one where they go to Australia. And if you know about me and my characters, you'll know that Tiny E.G. is inspired directly from The Rescuers. He's about the size, he's a little taller than like a mouse. But I would love to have him pal around with the mice. Oh, what are their names? I don't remember the mice's names. It's because it's early in the morning. I would normally remember them. Miss Bianca, and then who is the guy? He has just a name. I can't remember. I love the voice actors. They sound so, like, it's not goofy. You know how a lot of cartoons, they're just like really goofy, everybody's just goofing around, but like the Rescuers, they're just acting like people, but they're mice, and like there's like a bird and all kinds of stuff. But I find that style of cartoon is really hard to find anymore. Another furry, I guess, series I've seen actually Sing 1 and Sing 2, some of my favorite movies. That Sing is really offbeat. I find a lot of people don't like Sing, and in fact, to answer the question about niche movies, I would actually almost put Sing in there. I've heard pretty much people only dislike it, and I've actually watched both of them again recently, and I'm like, what is it about it these people don't like? It's not a masterpiece, but I mean, it's just like a funny. I don't know if I would call it a full furry movie. It's like, it's animals, but it takes more than talking animals to be like a furry movie, I think. Or maybe not, I don't know. Zootopia, also have seen many, many times. I saw Zootopia 2 in theater 3 times. And then I watched it again very recently. And I love the animals. I love the actors. Not a fan of the story, but I don't care. Like, it's not something to critique. It's just fine. But it's, Zootopia is cute. But going back to what I was saying about the rescuers, like Zootopia is just crazy, like wild, and people are goofy, really goofy. Like, I didn't expect that to happen. It's fine, but that's like all movies are today. Everybody's really self-aware. Actors that were popular show up and they're themselves. Like I watched this movie with I was talking about Gone in 60 Seconds, but then who's the actor? Nick Cage. I watched a movie with Nick Cage in it, and like the whole thing was just a meme around, this is Nick Cage. And like, okay, I mean, could we come up with something more creative than just like nonstop memes and people just being goofballs? I mean, you know me, I am a goofball. I'm always a goofball. But I think that media today has really lost its originality. That's a dog next door barking, by the way. I'm going to try to make that. And one that I have not seen is like a movie is Bad Guys. I've not seen that. And I would like to. I'm saving it for when I watch it with my fluffer schnooze. Because we're going to watch it and we're going to like it. We watched Lion King recently. It was really good. It's really short. I can't believe how short Lion King was. It was like blink your eyes and it's done. And now furry games. What kind of furry games? I find I talked about, or I will talk about, visual novels and things. What's your latest favorite movie, series, book, album, or band? Oh, what's your least favorite? What's your least favorite movie? I don't watch. I watch movies so seldom that I wouldn't watch one that I didn't like. I don't know. I'm sure I could dig up a movie I don't like, but that's not to say I don't like I like all movies. I don't, to be honest, I probably don't like most movies, but I just very rarely watch them that I don't really have anything to say. In bands, I wish I had a book for you that I could say was overrated, but I don't have it. I just don't read anything ever. Favorite album or least favorite album or band? Here's one, Korn. I loved Limp Bizkit. Another weird one. There's a lot of head scratching going on right now. No, I loved Limp Bizkit, and I was an angsty teenager that listened to a lot of stuff, but Korn never hooked me. Neither did Godsmack. Like, there are a couple bands that were in the area that I was listening to, these bands were popular at the time. I don't know why, because I wasn't in high school in the 90s, so I don't know why these bands came back when I was in high school, but everybody was listening to them. And new metal as a genre is okay, but I don't like most of what came out of there. Only Limp Bizkit. And I really like Fred Durst's voice, his singing voice. And, the music really isn't that bad. Like, they became a meme, and they had just like a really crazy reputation and stuff. But their music videos are really funny. If you watch like My Way, they're just really goofy. Like, the band had a weird reputation, but they're all just kind of like, I don't know. But yeah. It's another one. I think another last one I'll say is Nirvana. And Nirvana's fine, way overplayed. And I think it's overrated because I was really dismayed when I discovered this. But basically, a lot of people when I was younger were into grunge and rock music, and nobody worshipped Kurt Cobain or Nirvana, but there was a lot of reverence for it. But I felt like it seemed like that reverence came from, like, the band or the guy's just like really tortured and he's writing music and blah blah blah. It's like, well, they're trying to write hits. Like, you find out, you write it in this way and you can get on the radio and stuff. Like, that's lame. Like, that's not cool. Like, if you're being emotional and open and writing tunes, if you're trying to write them to be singles and get them out there to get popular, like, that undercuts the whole thing. Like, like fame and stuff should be a side effect of being emotional to your audience, not because you're writing hits. That's my thing about pop music in general. Like, you have these songs that come on the radio and people are like, tearing up and it's like, they wrote that. There's no substance behind it. There's no stories, and that doesn't mean anything. It kind of loops back to, doesn't loop back, but it's adjacent to AI. And this is, I will save my AI ramble for the end, because I have some hottish. Well, Luke, I have some warm takes with that too. Any fun hobbies or stuff you've gotten into just hasn't made its way to the channel, like skateboarding, poker, underwater basket weaving? Underwater basket weaving. Any hobbies that I have not brought out to you? I've been getting into cooking lately. It's been emotionally painful. Cooking, isn't that weird? This is a topic for a ramble for another time. But I have started cooking. Let me tell you about cooking. Yeah, I would say that cooking's a hobby. I think that's a really healthy way of looking at it. Not baking, but cooking. When I was a young boy, my mom kept me out of the kitchen. I was not allowed to go in there when there was food going on. Fast forward 18 years, I became an adult, and I had no idea how to cook anything. Nothing. Fast forward to, I don't know, I was probably 22, and I was in my own kitchen, like my own apartment kitchen, and I was doing my best to cook, and I'd come up with some dishes. They were okay. They were fine. Now, fast forward 10, 20, however many years to today, and I learned how to make pizza. I've been making pizza. I've been making spaghetti. I'm making roast, like pot roast. I got a crock pot going on. I make rice sometimes. And I found out that cooking's actually kind of fun. And there's a lot of there's like a lot of joy that comes with putting your hands in making some food and then giving it to somebody and then having them enjoy it, or even better, ask you for it. That is some joy that I've never really experienced. And I wanted to get into cooking for a couple reasons. One of the main one is, I want to be a catch. I'm learning how to cook and teaching myself recipes so that I can be a good partner for whoever comes along in the future. So that means that I made it through my entire marriage without knowing how to cook. Like, I would cook some stuff, but it wasn't real. And I know the question was around hobbies, but the thing about this, that it's kind of sad. Like it makes me sad if I think about it long and hard enough, and I want to ramble about it with you, is like, why did my mom keep that from me? Why did she never teach me? Why did she never show me how to boil water or anything? Why did she do that? She's gone now, so I can't ask her. But cooking, it will probably make its way here because cooking sounds are really nice. But I could put I made breakfast EG one time. That was a car outside, by the way. If you heard a honk, that was here. I made breakfast EG, and for that I actually made breakfast. So, I guess it already has made it in. And now the next question: how or when did your passion for tech start? So, let's get one thing straight. I don't have a passion for tech. It is a means to an end. I have a passion for this, making sounds and looking at my guitar amplifier over there. I don't have passion for tech. Somebody might say, well, if not passion, then what is it? Like, how did you get into tech? Well, I don't want to deceremonialize my prowess for tech. I've thought about this recently because of where I've landed with my career and what I've been doing. And like, I have to, everybody has imposter syndrome. And it behooves you and your team to grow out of that. Because I know that where I work, I am like a top performer. And if I just acted like I was Joe, almost ready to get fired because I feel like I'm, missing constantly, that would affect my work. Like, I know, I talked about this earlier, that people at my work depend on me. So I have to perform for them. If not for me, then for them. They're not helpless, but I can help them, and so I do. And that kind of becomes the motivation. Like, if I'm not actively working, then I don't have the passion I do. I've always been into computers. My dad built them, and I played on them, though he never played games. I was tinkering around on Linux one day when I was in my early 20s, I think. Probably might have been 21. But my friend said, hey, you should apply at this company where we test software. And I did. With no education. None. Zero. Zippo. Hey, where's your degree in computer science? Yeah, I don't have that. Why would I want that? I'm not a computer scientist. I'm an engineer. But don't you have to go to school and learn? I mean, yeah, I guess so. But that's the thing. I didn't, and I don't look at myself better than people who did. I ask those people how things work. I don't know how that stuff works. And it's useful. I think people are worried about AI. I know they are. They're like, oh my God, the AI can do this. What do they need me for? Dude, the AI doesn't know what it's doing. Like, the AI has no idea what the hell's going on. It's guessing. Every single token is a guess. It's a very good guess, but every single token that LLM gives you is a guess. And that doesn't mean that it's wrong. I guess all the time. Probably half of my work is guessing. But that's why it's important for you to know how it all works. Because people like me don't. I know how most of it works, but not all of it. And the LLM certainly doesn't. So I do tech because I seem to be very good at it. I don't know why, but I understand things. I found at my work, like my current gig, what's your superpower, e.g.? I understand things really well, like really, really big things. Big, huge. Like open the hood of your car, and like this isn't unique, but like you can look at every single component and know what they do. What's that? It's the alternator. What's that? Oh, it's the radiator. What's that? It's like that's what tech is. It's just remembering a ton of stuff. Really, that's all it is. DevOps infrastructure, it's just pipelines. You just have to know details about them. You need to know gotchas. I absolutely don't want to belittle the field or the passion for anybody who has passion in it. I have passion for building. I have passion for creating. But the actual code, it's just a means to an end. I don't care that much. I have opinions. I have preferences. I do the things that I do and like the things that I like. But it's just building. I bet that I would be good at something else that's similar. But tech is just what I fell into. I just have a brain for it. I'll go on record and say I don't think I'm a very good coder. I think I'm a very good designer. I think that I am a very good architect. But when it comes to actually writing code, it's a lot of pain to produce what I have in my head. Put it that way. My attention to detail isn't very good, so I'm always missing stuff. Copy and pasting is my enemy, because I'll copy half of what I need and it won't work, and I'll fight it trying to figure out what the hell's wrong, and that I do not have passion for. Building and designing systems, that is something that I have passion for. Tech like computers and Linux distros and stuff. A lot of what compels me for things like Linux distros and things like, wow, e.g., you did distro delves. You must be really passionate about Linux. No, I'm just crotchety. Future plans. What games are you planning on playing for future streams? I got a number of games. My problem with games right now is that my cadence is too slow. I stream Thursdays on Twitch, but I think I only streamed like once or twice during March because it was so busy. Last night we played SnowRunner, which was very fun. I almost played a game called Project Warlock 2, and that is really fun. It's just a boomer shooter that I can kind of veg out on. I haven't pet your ears much this video. We have Baldur's Gate, which I'm trying to beat. I think that I have a feeling that what you would love for me to do is to play a visual novel. I get requests for that. And so a couple things. I don't usually do things. Okay, let me put it this way. If I were to do a visual novel, I feel like I would be selling out or pandering in a weird way. Because I don't read, for starters. Like, I'm not a novel reader. And visual novels are just not how I experience things like that. So I have done a visual novel. I did Doki Doki Literature Club because some people begged me. And like, it's fine. I guess maybe if you begged me to play one and I found it interesting, I'd play it. But I it wasn't for me. I just don't care. But I'm always open to requests and things. If there is something you want me to play, I'd look into. Um, yeah, I have like a whole notebook of games that I've wanted to play and stream. So I guess adjacent to this is that I've been doing more game nights in Discord. I used to do them a lot more, and then I kind of stopped and I became a recluse. But I'm coming back out, and we've been playing TF2, and we might get Gmod going on. One of these days, I had this really funny idea. I think we're gonna do it. I want to watch Ghost, and then turn around and play Phasmo afterwards, or play Phasmo while watching Ghost. Do you know Ghost? It's a really good movie. We're definitely going to watch it in the Discord. Very good. One of the first movies I ever watched, actually. Like that it may be the first movie I picked out to watch. I was like 5 or 6. I was a little baby. But I was at my neighbor's house and they had all of these movies. And Ghost was in there, and I thought the cover of it was really interesting, and I asked to borrow it, and they were confused, but let me borrow it, and I watched it, and it made an impression on me. Really good movie. Very good. Oh no. I can't. Baby, please. Oh, I got it. Oh, I didn't. Oh no. Gotcha. Do you want to do a face reveal or a setup reveal in a future sub goal? Like a face reveal? I don't know. I think so. I talked to somebody about this, about loosely about this stuff recently, and they said that what you fans would probably like is if I made a big deal about like a face reveal, like I turned it into like a whole video. I don't work that way. I, I, I don't, I'm already, I don't put my face on things. I realize that there's a legitimate demand for it, and I'm not opposed to it, but the more people ask, the more I'm like, eh. I just never, I've never used my face for things. I've thought about getting a webcam going now. I have to be on camera a lot at this job that I'm at. So I'm becoming, hold on. All right, we're back. So I'm becoming more comfortable with my space and everything. And I'm thinking about maybe doing a Twitch stream or a Distro Delve stream with the camera on. I think either could be funny because I am very expressionful and exuberant. And I imagine that I would be very fun to watch. I don't have like, I really don't know what it is. I don't know what my camera block is. You know what, actually, I might just say that I'm camera shy. It's nothing like psychological. I don't prefer a camera to be on me. That's it, really. And it's weird because my love for recording and producing came from my dad, who often had a camcorder going on when I was a kid. And it's not like I've never had a bad experience with the camera on me. I've never been like harassed with it. I really, truly do not know where my aversion to the camera comes from. But yes, you will see my face. My face is out there. It's not even a matter of like if you know where to look. I'm not even sure where it is, but I know that it is. It's not a super secret. But if you want to wait for it to be a whole event, then it could happen. It could happen. All right, I'm to the last of the questions. It is 6:45, so I have about 15 minutes to finish this up, and my computer is spinning up again, and I've got to get to the bottom of why it's doing that before the next, well, I could move it. Anyway, I'm not going to ramble about that. We got some wild card questions and then a hot take. What if I identify as not a fluffer schnoot? Then you're a fluff. Then you're a floof. Then you're something of that nature. You have to be a fluffer schnoot. There's no choice. Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? Take 2. And have some neat once. I don't know what that means, but I will. All right, you fluffs. I can't believe this video is so long. It's like outrageous. It's my longest video ever. It's going to take so long to edit. I want to thank you so much, so much for getting me to 5K. And I wanted to give a special thanks to a few of you. So on Patreon, I posted the question and I said, we're doing a Q&A. And then I got some responses, and then I put up eg.io/ask. And anybody can go there and ask me questions. But those that asked me questions first include Casey, Lewis, Knockbit, and P-Will, who also does ASMR. Yay! I also want to give a shout out to Pocket Fox because I forgot to mention them. Snowball and Pocket Fox were the 2 furries that I saw and I discovered, like literally, whoa, furry ASMR is a thing. So I will bid you fluffs adieu now. Kind of an abrupt stop, but this recording's already an hour and a half. Oh my god. Alright. And now I will rush to the credits. I appreciate all of you. And I don't have a good intro, but if you want to support me, become Patreon or go to my website, eg.xyz. Sign up there. It's a good time. I'm still building out my collection of supporter videos and stuff. I need to port a lot of those, but there's some exclusives up there now. I appreciate each and every one of you fluffs, and I hope that you stay happy, healthy, safe, and warm. And until next time, 10K? Is that what we're going for? All right, fluffer schnitz. Bye-bye.